Okay, I'm just sitting outside in the garden and I'm writing a big list of all of the tasks that I want to do over the long weekend. It's looking very full, but it's also kind of overwhelming me. There's a lot of pots everywhere and some of them aren't really thriving, like these aren't really thriving, and then like some of the ones that we planted a couple of weeks ago aren't really thriving. So I just feel like I need a bit of a rejig. That's a massive pile of rubbish that I need to take out, so let's ignore that. But I'm also not loving the pond. I just think it looks weird and I want to get rid of it. I've decided I don't like it, so I'm gonna get rid of all of the leftover grass along here as well. I'm gonna lay some cardboard down and then some landscape bark, and I've just spotted something's dug up a tomato, but that's okay. And then also get rid of the grass along here, and just I've got a long list, but yeah, there's just so many pots. I can barely get to the greenhouse. The radish has gone to seed. Need to organise the shed because it's a hot mess in there, so I'm thinking move all of the tools out of the greenhouse into here so that the greenhouse is purely plants. But to do that, I'm gonna need to tackle the shed. Rubbish here from when Mum was helping me the other day because I was so ill. I had food poisoning or something. It was disgusting. So Mum came and looked after the garden for me and kept everything watered, which was amazing. Honestly, can't thank her enough. But yeah, and I bought so many new plants that I just need to pot up, and there's just a lot going on. But some of the new pots I'm going to put on the driveway. It's going to look super pretty, but I'll show you once that's all done. But I thought I would just give you a quick before. I don't know how much I'm going to film of everything that I need to get done, just because I feel like I just need to get everything done and then show you the outcome after. So I think that that's what I'm going to do. But I might film a couple of clips of what we get up to, unless Elijah eats a bee and we need to go to the vet. Don't do that. We like the bees. You don't kill them. You're gorgeous. Luckily my granny and granddad have a pond that they actually like, so I'm gonna just give them these pond plants. I'm gonna just put them in a bag because I'm seeing them in a couple of days, so pop them in there with some water and they can go to their pond instead. Okay, so as always, starting out at the back, we've got the bay tree, which has got so many new shoots coming on. Honestly, until I clicked record, I did not notice how bushy this had gotten, and we've got the ones down there as well, so I'll definitely be picking those and hanging those in the kitchen, and I'll give this a bit of a trim in a couple of weeks or so probably. Then I've got these two plants here. So this is actually a pink lavender, and this is going to go out the front of my house. I've just not taken it round there yet. And I've also got a rose for the front as well. It's a climbing rose, so I'm hoping that it will go around my front door. Right. Oh my gosh, hello. And this rose is called Compassion, but it's just gorgeous, so got that for the front. Then this sage is looking so much better. Oh my gosh, looking fabulous. It's kind of liking being around here in the kind of shadier part of the garden. Wilma tree as usual. Now this looks really sad. I planted these out, I got the plants just at the supermarket, and I split one plant up into 5 different baby plants. It's a flat leaf parsley, but it absolutely tipped it down after I planted it out, so it's just been flattened a bit, but it will come back. I did this yesterday or the day before, so it will look better. It just doesn't right now, but that's fine. Then we've got the mint. So if you remember a couple of videos ago, all of these ones around the edge were self-seeded, and then the one in the middle actually died. So I replaced the one in the middle with a new mint plant in the hopes that that one's gonna survive. But we've still got all of these baby shoots coming around from the old plant, which is fabulous. Then, so I've changed quite a lot around with the herbs. So a couple of videos ago I did a tiered planter like that with the herbs. I just found that I was not liking that setup at all, and I think it's because I had different herbs in like dotted around in the planter, and I am very like methodical in my brain, and I just don't think that I could deal with it. I just wasn't going out and picking the herbs because it was like overwhelming me, which sounds ridiculous. But what I've done is I've split them out into other planters because some of them also were not looking happy in there. The lemon balm especially looked really quite bad. So I've split up all of the herbs and I've put them into their own planters, which I thought was a good idea, especially for the perennials, so that I don't need to worry about them year on year. I can just give them some compost and they should be okay, and I won't need to think about them. So that's what I've done here. I had this rosemary already in this planter in the middle, but I've moved it over to the edge, and then I had 2 more rosemary plants that were in the tiered planter, and I've popped those in here with that as well. So they're looking pretty good. Then we've got these planters here. Now, we planted these a couple of videos ago. These are spring onions, I know that for sure. I think this is spinach or beetroot, carrots, and this was lamb's lettuce or watercress, and then I did either lamb's lettuce or watercress. I think this side was watercress and that was lamb's lettuce. That side has done well, this one has not. But these are just kind of taking longer than I thought they would, because I did these 3 or 4 weeks ago. I mean, this part of the garden is quite shady, so I'm thinking whether or not the planters that go here that get more sun, if I should start the seeds here and then move them over here. Although saying that, I still had very poor germination in these pots as well, and you'll see what I've done with those in a minute, but I'm not sure. Please tell me what I'm doing wrong. But I'm going to plant some lettuce and spinach in seedling trays and then pot them out. I think I'll probably have more luck with that, so I'll start those in the greenhouse, fingers crossed today if I have enough time, because I'm filming this right before I'm going out for lunch with my grandparents, so I'm on a time crunch. So then we've got the trees. Now, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to report the cherry tree is now aphid free. So you'll see, I think it was in my last video or the video before that, I cut off all of the leaves and I sprayed it with like a pesticide, which I really didn't want to do, but this tree was honestly awful, and my dad just said, Hannah, you need to just suck it up and deal with it. And do you know what, I'm so glad that I did, because as soon as I cut all of the dead like really infected leaves off and left all of the kind of healthier looking ones, obviously some of these are dying back, but this looks so much better than it did before. But as soon as they'd all gone, the cherries on here started to ripen. So I think it just needed it. The tree was struggling, but now it's looking really good, so I'm very happy about that. And then at the bottom of the cherry tree, we've got some calendula that I grew from seed, and then this is a cornflower, as well as this one back here, which is just a baby. I don't know how big these are gonna get, but we'll see. It was a bit of an experiment. But the calendula is looking quite nice, so hopefully that will reseed itself in here for next year. Got a little, I think this is a dianthus, I think, but I always like to pop one of these in that little birdhouse planter because it's just the cutest thing ever. This is the apple tree, which also doing so well considering last year I thought that it was dead, but obviously no fruit this year because it's still a baby, but looking nice and healthy. And this has always been next to the cherry tree and it didn't get infected, so that's perfect. Daffodils, which have died back, but I'm just leaving those because that's what everyone told me to do. I can't remember the name of this plant, but gorgeous. Oh, I've got the sticker in it. Clever me. Nemesia. So yeah, that is gorgeous in that little pot. I love it. Then this is the pear tree, which has had so much new growth. I love it. So much new growth. It did flower earlier on in the year, but we've not got any fruit. But it is it's like first proper year of being here, so I'm not surprised. It is a dwarf pear tree, but I'm very excited for when this decides to give us some fruit. I don't know why some of the leaves are like curled over. They've not got aphids on them, but it seems to be all of the ones at the end of the branches. So if anyone can tell me what that is, that would be much appreciated, because I have not got a clue. Then at the bottom of the pear tree, we have a weed. And we also have some borage, which I planted these from seed as well, and some chamomile and some more weeds. So let's get those out. But this is coming up pretty nicely now. I planted some, I scattered some extra seeds around here, which have germinated really very well. Oh my gosh, that one looks so good. Because this is all like a bunch of baby plants, but that is one strong plant. And so is that one actually. So I'm excited for those. I don't know how big these are gonna get being in here, but I'm just keeping my fingers crossed for that. Then look at this dahlia. My dad got me this when we went to the garden centre. It's called Pink Starburst. I mean, you can understand why, but there are so many flowers on this. I was not expecting this many. And then at the bottom of the plum tree, we've got some verbena. Oh my gosh, Nita Dad had that. And I couldn't remember what this was called in my last video, and I didn't look at it. So I also don't know what it's called now. I do know that it begins with an S though, so who knows, but it's pretty. And yes, this is the plum tree, which is getting so massive. I don't know. I thought that all of the trees that I bought were fine for pots, but now that I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, was I correct? Can I just chop that off so that it gets bushier? Is that a bad idea? Will I get fruit if I do that? Someone please tell me, because I do not know. Over here we've got some radish, which has literally bolted within a day, which is fabulous. These are really small in this one, so I might just pull these up and plant some more, or I mean, look at that, it's cute, but it's teeny tiny, so may pull those up and plant some more, but radish nonetheless. And then in this one at the back, we've got some sugar snap peas, because I found some finally. I don't know why I couldn't find any at the beginning of the year, but I found them now, so planted those out. I started them inside, not in the greenhouse, I started them in the house actually. So pop those up there, and then I'll pop some bamboo sticks and they can grow up there. This was one of the pots that I had, I think it was parsnip seeds in, that just didn't germinate at all. Although now I'm looking at these, I'm thinking it's probably something, but I'm just going to ignore that for now. We've got some lettuce, which I have been harvesting, but again, like, this is the only tray of lettuce that has done well, and I'm just confused. This is definitely overcrowded because I just scattered the seeds in there, but I don't know why the others just didn't grow. So we'll give it a go doing it in the seed trays and then planting the seedlings out, I think. At the beginning of the year, I said to myself, I'm going to direct sow as much as I possibly can, because it just seems the easiest thing to do. But what I've learned is I actually think it's much better to start them off as seedlings, so that you can pick the strongest ones, and then you can pick whichever ones you want to put out. And especially with Elijah, when he was like running rampage in the garden and digging up everything that I sowed, the seeds were getting scattered everywhere anyway, so I wouldn't know where they were going to pop up. So that's definitely a lesson learned for next year. But we've just got some more of the sugar snap peas in here. Then in here is super exciting. So these are black beans, I believe these ones are, and I planted these from the beans that you get at the supermarket, the dried beans. I saw someone had done it on, again, I think it was Instagram, and I was like, let's just give it a go to see if it works. And oh my gosh, so many of them popped up. It was crazy. I was not expecting that at all. So this is just a fun little experiment. Got some nasturtiums in here. Again, these were in the tiered planter and they just did not look happy. They were so yellow when I put them in here, but these are looking so much better since I planted them out. And I only put them out 2 days ago, I think it was. Same with the herbs here. So I replanted all of these from the planter, from the tiered planter. I've got sage here. This is, I think, lemon thyme. And then that is the lemon balm, which that one looked so sad, but it's already coming back stronger since I replanted it and gave it a bit of a snip. So very happy about that. Then this one in the back is all oregano. And again, that one looked so unhappy in the tiered planter, but popped it in there, gave it a snip, and we've got a lot of new growth on there now. So fingers crossed they will all be okay. We've got our little flower pot, which I can't even remember what half of these are. I know that there's a lavender. I don't know what the pink things are, or the bluey purple at the back. I know that's a heather, which looked dead but is now growing. But these were just all of the leftover plants that were around the pond that I didn't want to throw away. But it's looking very pretty now, so that's good. Then into the greenhouse, we've got all of our peppers and chilies. I had some leftover marigolds that I just shoved in random places in here, just because I had them and they were dying in the little seedling tray because I forgot to water them. But super exciting because we've got little flowers forming on some of the banana peppers, which is just, I'm just so excited about these. I think this is one of the most exciting things that I have grown. And I think it's because I've looked after these for about 5 months now. But they are doing great in the greenhouse. They've got lots of new growth on them. And yeah, they're all looking pretty good. The loofah is so sad. Obviously, we're not going to get anything out of this year. So I just thought I would leave it in here and let it grow. See how big it gets, but I've definitely learnt my lesson about this. Need to start these off super early, keep them super warm and healthy, and fingers crossed next year we'll get one. Then I picked up some plants from a guy from Facebook, and I'll show you some of the others because I picked up some tomato plants because mine were just looking a bit sad, but he also had some cucumbers. So I got this one, which is Beth Allen is the variety, I think, which is like a snacking cucumber. And he said that this one really would do best in the greenhouse. So I popped this one in here and thought that it could like trail along the rod or something when it gets a bit bigger, but it's already popping off lots of little vines. So that's exciting. Honestly, I went into this man's garden and his seedlings were literally perfect. When I show you the tomatoes, oh my gosh, he has inspired me for next year. I really need to up my game because it was incredible. Then we've got, again, some sad looking basil because this is one from the supermarket that, again, I separated out into 5 little things, gave it a snip because it was looking not good, and it also did get rained on. So I'm hoping that it will pick itself up being in the greenhouse, and we have got lots of new little leaves growing here. So fingers crossed that will look okay and turn into a big bushy plant, but who knows at this point. The forget-me-nots, I've kind of let these just go a bit wherever they want to, and they're still flowering and still look really pretty, so I think I'll just cut them back at the end of the year. Question mark. Let me know if I should do anything different, otherwise that's what I'll do. And then in here we've got some more of those supermarket beans that I grew. Now I think one of these is a black bean and one of them is a cannellini bean. Oh no, these are both black beans, and then I put the cannellini bean in here. So that's a cannellini bean, which is looking really good, honestly. And then these two are black beans again, and another nasturtium, which this one looks a lot sadder than the other one, but fingers crossed it will come back now that it's out of the planter that it didn't like. Then I've got one last tray of herbs, and this is all thyme. Again, some of them were not loving life in the planter, so brought them out, cut them all down, and hopefully they're gonna enjoy life a little bit more in here. But I've got a few different varieties. I think this one is silver posy, this one is just common thyme, and then this one is orange thyme. Now moving on to the kind of main garden area, you'll see a lot of changes here. So I actually can't remember the last time that I showed this to you, but I used to have stepping stones along this part here that then led into the garden paths, which didn't used to have bricks. So I picked up literally like 3 carloads worth of bricks from Facebook Marketplace. They were all free, and laid out pathways, because I just wasn't loving the wood chip pathways, because Elijah would be running up and down like crazy and everything was going everywhere, and it just was not super neat and tidy, which if you know me, you'll know that I need things to be neat and tidy. But yeah, so I did that, but then I did have this strip of grass left along here. So 2 days ago I put some cardboard down and then put some landscape bark on top, to kill back the grass underneath here, and just to like extend the garden beds, because it just looked really weird having like this strip of grass left. But I think this looks so much better now. It's very uneven, but I'm just hoping that over time everything will kind of like settle down, and next year, once all of the weeds and everything have died underneath, I'll be able to level out the beds, and probably some of the bricks as well, because I mean, look at that, that is, you know, anyway, looks so much better than it did before. But I'm not going to be planting anything in this strip up here this year, just because, well, I'll show you, it's literally wood chip and then cardboard. So yeah, and then there's grass underneath, but we've got the space for next year, which is exciting, and it just makes it look a bit neater and tidier for this year. You'll see I've moved the strawberry planter onto there, just because I thought it needed the sun around all of the plants at the edge, which is doing amazing. But we'll get there in a minute. So yes, the garden looks, honestly, I'm way more obsessed with this than I have been. I mean, I was obsessed with it anyway, but you know what I mean. So in the first bed, we've got our courgettes, which are doing really well since we planted them out. Some of them are a little bit smaller, which obviously understandable, and some of them I have planted quite closely together, but we'll just see, we'll see. And these are the tomatoes from the guy from Facebook. Look how good these are compared to mine over there. Like that leggy little thing compared to this, crazy. These are like an Italian variety for sauce making. Can't remember which these ones are, and I don't know. Oh, the label's here. Oh, these are pyramid tomatoes. So I did have one of my own, which I think is in a bed over there somewhere. Actually, it might be that one that has been eaten by something. But these just look so strong, and they're already putting on flowers. Well, you can barely see these, but they're there, and some more there. But they just look so good. And I've got some marigolds dotted around that the slugs have been chomping on, but at least they're doing their job. Then this is the kale and the broccoli bed. So we've got broccoli here, which, I'm sorry, that is looking so good. So good. And then this is kale. The plants along this part, this side of the garden, do look a lot smaller than the ones kind of here, and that's just because this is what gets the morning sunlight, and then the sun moves across the garden throughout the day. So it's crazy how much literally a foot or two can make to the plants. Like that one compared to that one, it's just crazy to me. Then over in this bed, we've got some yard-long green beans, which don't look incredible considering they've been in there for a while. But again, they don't get loads of sun here. But we'll see. I've not had much luck with green beans this year. But anyway, they're there, so fingers crossed they'll grow. Then we've also got some, I think these are mange too. That one's looking pretty good actually. That one, not so much, but a girl can hope. A sad looking dead marigold, and this is my decapitated tomato. Oh yeah, that was the pyramid one, which, I mean, RIP, you know. But that's why we go and buy plants from Facebook, because Hannah didn't do a good enough job. These are all San Marzanos, I think. Are they? No, they're not. That's a big mama. That one I think is as well. Big pink, these ones. So they're looking all right actually, considering. I really need to fertilise everything, because I've not done it yet. But there was a lot of fresh compost. Well, all of it was fresh compost in the garden this year, so shouldn't be too bad. But I just think these are crying for help. Then over here, these are obviously hanging baskets. I've ordered some brackets to go around the fence post, because we tried to drill into the concrete. It just didn't go far enough, and it broke the drill bit. So yeah, my dad said it was just not going to work, so I ordered those. But these are cucumbers in here. They're both market more in this one and in that one, and I thought that they could be on here and then kind of trail down rather than trellis up, so that will look really pretty. They're looking good. These are from the guy from Facebook as well. They're honestly just so good. Like I said to him, I was like, I am coming back next year because these are so much better than mine. And then these are cabbage, which, considering they don't get much sun, and they were the same kind of size as those brassicas over there when we planted them out, they are actually looking pretty good. They are very close together. Now I'm noticing that as they're growing, but what can you do? I could take some out, but I'm not going to. Then these are all marmalade tomatoes, and I think, I want to say these are all mine, but then I think I'm lying, because that one looks really good, and that one. I actually think, oh no, this must be, that's from the guy from Facebook, but I think that one is mine. So that one looks pretty good. Well, so does that one, but they're coming along. They look pretty good. Then at the end of this bed, we've got the strawberry planter, which this has honestly been doing absolute bits. We've got lots of ripe strawberries that I need to pick, actually. But yeah, we've just got so many strawberries at the moment, which is just, I mean, it's amazing. And we've got babies coming off as well. But I actually just can't explain how happy this makes me. Like, strawberries are my favourite fruit ever, and there's just so much abundance. These are cucumbers, so that's a market more that I grew. That's a white wonder cucumber, and this one, but that's definitely dying, and that's looking a bit yellow. So, but it's, to be honest, it's the potatoes. Look how crazy the potatoes are. These are literally supposed to be in like a metre long bed, and they're just overtaking into everything. They're like shadowing over all of this tomato bed, which These are San Marzanos. Okay, these tomato plants are mine. So those look good, considering that I grew them. And they're obviously not being taken over by the potatoes yet, but I honestly, what do I do with this? Do I cut the leaves back? Like, I feel like I shouldn't do that, but it's just shading absolutely everything. So I don't know what to do. But look how cute the flowers are. They're so pretty. But can I cut some of this back? Obviously before it starts to die back. They've been in the ground for maybe 2 months. So they're not going to be ready yet, but can I cut the leaves back? Because I really want to. Because it's just taking over everything. Like the onion and garlic bed, these are not grown as much as they should be. They're only flat because Elijah's been running all over them and lying in them. Don't really know about this. I'm just kind of pulling them up as I need them. I harvested some the other day to make my sister and I some pasta, and that was so yummy. Elijah? Selective hearing. Then finally in this bed, if I move the potatoes out of the way, I mean, look, that is monstrous. Are you kidding me? I literally don't know, like, what on earth to do with this. Please get out the way of my sunflowers. Actually, that's kind of worked, but now it's just flopped over. Anyway, whatever. We've got lots of sunflowers in here, which is super exciting. Some of them have been munched, but it's fine. That's going to be super cute when they grow. Then this is a butternut squash, which one of them has grown. I only sowed 3 seeds, so that's pretty good. And then we've got very sporadic corn germination here. So Elijah dug around all of these, and they went everywhere, obviously. So I do need to come in here and move some of them around. I've just not gotten around to it yet. One has been crushed by the new bark, but honestly quite surprised that we've got probably 10 plants here, so that's pretty good. So I will move those around a bit, probably when some of these are a little bit bigger, so they can handle it, and then I'll move this into the middle slightly, I think. But very excited. Those are Fiesta corn, so they have every colour under the sun, basically. They're so pretty. And then if we finally move on to the pots along here, I've got 2 tomato plants. These are purple calabash, and I historically have always grown my tomatoes in containers because, like, that's the space that I had. But now that I'm looking at these, I'm actually realising how sad these look compared to the ones in the beds. I don't know if it's because they are getting dried out, but like that soil is not dry. And again, it's new compost. But these were the healthiest looking ones when I planted them out. Although they are getting some flowers forming, but they're just not looking amazing. They're not awful, don't get me wrong, but some of the leaves at the sides are just dying. Or maybe it's because they were bigger earlier. Unsure, but excited for those. Got a little space here because I moved the strawberry planter over here so we could get some more sun. I've also moved this raspberry plant. This is a golden raspberry that I've had for about 5 years or so. It's not got any fruit on it this year, so I don't know if it's like run its course or something. But it was also overshadowing the blueberries down there. So I just moved it to its own spot, but I'm going to keep it and just see what happens. To be honest, this probably needs fertilizing because I've not changed the pot literally in 5 years that I've had this plant, and I've maybe given it compost once. So that's obviously the problem. It's probably just not got any nutrients to give us raspberries. Then we've got another strawberry planter here, which I've really only got strawberries in the top of this. But when we start to get runners, I'll pop them into the little side holes. But this one is doing well as well. Lots of different little strawberries growing in here. Super cute. This plant pot was at my very first childhood home, and my dad's kept it this whole time, and we used to have wild strawberries in here, and I just remember going to pick them and feeling so sneaky whenever I would pick one and just eat one outside without telling our parents. But yeah, super cute. I might actually take these strawberry plants out next year, because I think next year, because I've got the other tiered planter left over from the herbs, I think I'm going to fill that other one with strawberry plants for next year. So we'll have 2 tiered planters for strawberries. And then I think I'll probably have enough for jam and stuff, as well as just eating them as they come. And then maybe pop some wild strawberries in here. Note to self, because I think I'll probably need to order seeds for those, because I've not seen them in the shop. Then this pot, we've got delphiniums in here, which just haven't flowered at all, but they seem to look okay. And then just some snapdragons, which most of the flowers have died back now, but we should hopefully get some more. But they were just gorgeous when they were here. I also had spring bulbs in there, but I pulled the majority of them up. This is our blackcurrant plant, and there was, they're here, a little blackcurrant on it. Oh, it's not ready yet. But this was just a fun little, oh my God. Is that a dead leaf or is it a caterpillar? I can't tell. Oh my God, there was one there I didn't notice. Is that a caterpillar or a dead leaf? I'm not going to touch it. If it's a dead leaf, this is embarrassing, but tell me either way. Yeah, I was in not the farm shop, the garden centre, and they had a deal on when I got the blueberries and the raspberries. It was 3 for £20, I think. So I just picked up a black currant. I don't know what I'm going to do with the fruit. Maybe make a cordial, but currently I've got 3 berries, so high expectations. I love blackberries as well, but being in the UK, they literally grow everywhere, so you can just go and forage them like August, September time, so don't need to grow any in the garden. Then this is one of the other raspberry plants that we got at the start of the year. Some of these look really dead, so I definitely need to chop back some of these branches, but this one cane is super strong. To be honest, I think that is the only good cane, that one. The raspberries from the garden centre were honestly not vibing a lot, to be honest. Like, this is the other one died, but this one, yeah, now that I'm looking at it, it's just literally that one cane, but that one does look good, so hopefully next year it'll pop some more out, and I'll pick up another couple of raspberry plants for next year. And then this is so exciting. I can't remember if I showed you this before, but my dad gave me a rhubarb plant that he had in his garden, and he's like redoing his garden. Oh, we've got a raspberry here. So cute. He was redoing his garden, and he had this in the ground, and he didn't want it anymore. And when I tell you, I planted this 3 or 4 weeks ago maybe, and it literally had one teeny little leaf, probably like this size, this one, and now all of this growth, and I just wasn't expecting it because it was in such like deep clay soil, but it's honestly like loving being in here. So we've got lots of little rhubarb shoots coming off, so that's super exciting. And then finally we've got our little blueberry plant. So this was the one that was being shaded by the raspberry, so I've just obviously moved the raspberry, and then we do actually have little blueberries forming now, which is really good. To be honest, each of the blueberries are looking really good, and they've all got fruit on them. These little ones as well. And then at the bottom here, I can't remember what these are, what these flowers, carnations in here and here, that I sowed from seeds. So again, I just needed to put them in somewhere. I don't know how much they're going to grow, but we shall wait and see. Then in here we've got some, I think this is French lavender, some snapdragons that have flowered already, and then another verbena which is putting on some more flowers. And then this is the final blueberry plant, which this has a lot of blueberries on, so just waiting for those to get a bit bigger and get ripe so that we can pick them. But yeah, definitely need to do some fertilizing, so perhaps that will be the next video, the next job to do, as well as sowing some more seeds. Thank you so much for touring the garden with me. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.